employers some $2.2 billion per hour.
It's one of those situations where you don't necessarily recognize how much you miss something until it's gone.
Adam Borland is a clinical psychologist with Cleveland Clinic. He suggests companies use the interest in the big dance to their advantage.
The tournament always creates a sense of community, which I think people really need nowadays.
Instead of calling foul, Borland suggests call a timeout.
If watching tournament games is something that you're passionate about, then great. However, it is going to obviously require balance so that you're not neglecting your work.
And while productivity may be down, as far as improving morale, it's a slam dunk.
This feels like an easy makeshift way for people to start to connect with each other, talk to each other about something exciting and fun that's not the daily business item.
This year, March Madness, part of a return to normalcy.
11Alive News at noon starts now.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium opens for vaccinations today. The first round of vaccines go to our teachers. How their feelings this morning after much anticipation. Plus, as vaccination eligibility opens up, it could be harder to find vaccination locations. Where should you look? We will let you know. And 1 week with 7 mass shootings, including here in Atlanta, the push from President Biden and why lawmakers may not be on board. The work to get more Georgians vaccinated continues. Today, FEMA and the U.S. Department of Defense are bringing more resources to expand vaccination operations at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Fulton County plans to give as many as 42,000 vaccines each week. Now, one group included at the Benz today, Atlanta Public Schools staff. After months of anticipation, today is the first day they're able to get a shot through the district. Tracy Emick-Peer joins us now live from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where hundreds of people are in line. And Tracy, I'm looking at that line behind you, and it looks like it's moving, right?
It's moving. It's actually moving a lot faster than it looks right now. And of course, it's not just APS teachers who are getting vaccinated here now, as GMA and the Department of Defense have joined efforts starting this morning to speed up vaccines here. Now, the line is long, but as we said, it's moving fast. From the end of the line to right here, which is the midway point, they tell me it's only taking about 5 minutes. One thing holding up the line, however, is people who are showing up too early for their appointment, getting up in line and then being turned away. Now, the part of the crowd here is APS staff members trying to get their vaccines. The district is offering them shots at this site today, Friday, and Saturday. They plan to offer second doses for them at the same site in mid-April. Frederick Douglass High School assistant principal Charmaine Jennings says he would have liked to get it as soon as possible, but it's worth the wait.
He's just trying to get back what we call normalcy. I think this is a beginning, a step in the right direction. So this means to me trying to move myself forward, not only just for me, but my family, but also the kids and the students I serve. Yeah, I've seen a lot of my colleagues here today. I think if not here on Saturday, but most of my colleagues I've crossed the paths just a minute ago in line. So we're all trying to get it done, particularly the first shot today.
Now, Jennings says many of them picked to get their shot on Wednesday, since that's the day that the district closes the schools to clean them district-wide. Now, across the board, close to 1,200 APS teachers and staff members have appointments here today.
All right, that's some good news, Tracy. Thank you. Since the vaccine has been made available in Georgia, we have received your questions and compiled a list of advice from health experts. We've also talked with viewers about what has worked for them. Mara Sirianni is sharing some advice.
First, look in surrounding counties and be willing to travel. Remember, as long as you're a Georgia resident, you can receive the vaccine for free at any available site across the state. Next, use those mass vaccination sites. Another tip, log on early. Folks I've talked to say logging on to check sites like Kroger or Publix early in the morning may yield more time slots. If technology isn't your thing, consult vaccine volunteer help groups like the Vaccine Angels on Facebook.
The goal of the Facebook group is to put out information so that people can book appointments for themselves and their loved ones.
Be flexible about timing. Don't rely on just one site. Try several. And finally, be patient.
Once that expanded eligibility goes live on Thursday, appointments will no doubt be hard to find in certain regions of our state. We will continue to shift doses to the areas of highest demand, as we have over the last few weeks.
And an important reminder here, cancel any appointment that you do not plan to attend as to not prevent someone else from getting a COVID-19 shot. And of course, we want to make sure you're getting your vaccine questions answered around the clock. We can send some resources straight to your phone. Just text the word vaccine to the number on your screen. It's 404-885-7600. State health officials are working to get ahead of a new COVID variant that's been detected in Newton County. It's said to be more contagious than the original strain. Now, the variant, which was originally detected in Brazil, is now in the metro, and it includes cities like Covington and Newborn. Health officials say you can potentially contract this strain even if you've been previously infected or vaccinated. According to the CDC, this variant contains a set of additional mutations that may affect its ability to be recognized by antibodies. So far, there have been 54 reports of the Brazilian variant across the country. Melissa, over to you.
Thank you so much, Fran. And we've got the cloud cover that we were dealing with all morning starting to decrease just a little bit. So it's going to be a pretty nice afternoon for us today. That's our little break ahead of tomorrow's round of thunderstorms that I'm tracking. But you can see out there right now the mostly cloudy skies. They're gradually thinning out here over our Circle 75 office park camera. One thing's for sure, though, you can feel the pollen outside if you're an allergy sufferer. And today we have reached the extremely high range for tree pollen for the first time so far this year. That number, the pollen count today, 1755. So the allergy levels, the pollen levels out there, they are certainly high today. But here's the clouds decreasing. And for the rest of today, we have a pretty quiet forecast for us. We're up to 67 in Atlanta, 69 in Duluth, 70 in Rome, and 68 in Thomaston. This afternoon, I expect us to reach about the mid-70s for high temperatures, with skies turning partly cloudy throughout the afternoon and staying in the low 70s this evening if you want to be doing some grilling out. But I need to bring your attention to what's on the way for tomorrow. Look at this. This is our severe weather outlook for Thursday. There is a moderate level 4 out of 5 risk of severe storms just to our west in Alabama. For us in North Georgia, we've got levels 1, 2, and 3 out of 5 of severe weather. What does this all mean? I'm going to break it down hour by hour, talk about our storm threats for tomorrow as well, coming up in a few minutes. Fran?
Melissa, thank you. The suspect in the Colorado grocery store mass shooting, is set to make his first court appearance Thursday. 21-year-old Ahmad Al-Alawi Alissa is facing 10 counts of murder and 1 charge of attempted murder. Officials say he bought the high-powered rifle used in the attack less than a week before the massacre. Right now, officials say they do not have information about a motive. And loved ones in the surrounding community continue to grapple with the lives lost on Monday. Some of the men and women gunned down were just starting their lives. Their ages range between 20 years old and 65. Camilla Bernal spoke with loved ones as they try to wrap their minds around this senseless loss.
She's giggly and bubbly and just you couldn't be sad around her.
Friends and family remembering the victims of the mass shooting in Boulder, Colorado.
He's my best friend. He's a brother to me.
10 lives cut tragically short on Monday.
She was a person who, all of her life really, she was about doing service, helping others.
Kevin was incredible. He was an incredible father, an incredible spouse, an incredible neighbor. He was just a wonderful, wonderful man who didn't deserve this at all.
The suspect, a 21-year-old man from nearby Arvada, is now facing 10 counts of murder in the first degree and 1 count of attempted murder. Authorities promising the grieving community that justice will be served. And now, with the country in the middle of its 7th mass shooting in the past week alone, President Joe Biden has once again called for an assault weapons ban and a wave of new gun control measures.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future. And it should not be a partisan issue. This is an American issue. We should also ban assault weapons in the process.
Now, President Biden making it clear he wants gun reform. He's urging the Senate to act on House-passed background check legislation and pressing for lawmakers to reinstitute an assault weapons ban. Unfortunately, his call may fall on deaf ears as Republicans and Democrats remain at ends on a solution.
We need to do more than reflect. We need to act. We need to show that we care and prevent the next mass shooting if we can.
The Democrats who want to take away the guns from those potential victims would create more victims of crimes, not less.
2 gun safety bills passed the House of Representatives this month. All right, switching gears right now, police are looking for 2 men who they say shot up a bar on Edgewood Avenue, injuring a security guard. Atlanta police say the men were thrown out of our bar for touching a waitress early this morning inappropriately. When they left, police say they got into a silver sedan and started firing at the club, then drove off. A security guard was grazed in the side of the head, but is expected to be okay. And 2 people were hurt after a shooting in the parking lot of Cumberland Mall. One of the victims was just a child. Cobb County police say it started between 2 cars opening fire. The cars sped off after the shooting. One victim was shot in the leg, the other in the foot. Police are still investigating a motive and looking for suspects. And there is still a search for the person who killed a racetrack employee last week. A total of $10,000 is now being offered for any information. The Oconee Sheriff's Office says the shooting happened in Watkinsville on Macon Highway last Friday. Deputies say the clerk, 23-year-old Elijah Wood, was shot and left for dead. Now, investigators released this surveillance photo of the suspect. Take a good look. Anyone with information is asked to call the Oconee Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen. And more than a dozen people have been displaced after a fire ripped through a Sandy Springs apartment building overnight. It happened shortly after midnight at the Azalea Park at Sandy Springs Apartments. Now, one resident says she woke up to the smell of smoke and someone banging on her door.
And so I ran to my roommate's room, woke her up, grabbed my dog, and we literally just ran out the building. And there was smoke billowing out of our neighbor's apartment, and then we all had to run.
Very scary there. Fortunately, no one was hurt. The building is a total loss, though. And right now, the Red Cross is providing temporary place to stay, food, and clothing. Still ahead, many of the questions that you have, we have answers, especially about where's your money. Our financial expert tells us what could be taking so long for you to receive those stimulus checks. We're breaking it down after the break.
Negro people had to leave. They were told to get out.
White only, no black!
1912, all but one issue has been erased.
We haven't had none up here since the 1st of the century.
What's the importance of making sure this history isn't erased?
So that it doesn't happen again.
Is your morning routine feeling a little routine?
Then mix it up. Morning Rush is different.
It's the fast-paced news you need
with all the energy of your morning coffee. Come see the difference on Morning Rush, weekdays on 11Alive.
Weather can't run from the all-new 11Alive Thunder Truck, a mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge.
Here in Atlanta, bad weather means bad traffic. A few drops of rain could destroy a commute. But that's where my man Crash Clark comes in. I go street level, he goes next level. Together, we make sure you get to work on time. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive. Hey, quick, open up your phone camera right now. Aim it at the screen to download 11Alive's new and improved app. This QR code will take you right to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy. Atlanta roads are my thing. ITP, OTP, Ponce, Piedmont, all the peach trees. Combined with Chesley's street level forecast, that's a lot of tech and experience to help your commute.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
We're quite the combo.
Weather changes can make or break your day. That's why the 11Alive Storm Trackers are always watching what's coming next, delivering accessible and accurate forecasts that prepare you, not scare you. The Storm Trackers, only on 11Alive.
COVID-19 is still spreading in Georgia. Now get facts, not fear, at 11alive.com/.
Welcome back. So many of you want to know, where is my money? Don't fret, though. The IRS says another round of stimulus payments should be hitting bank accounts today. But some of you may still be getting that snag, delaying the payment process. All right, so we're taking all of your questions on our 11Alive Facebook page and taking them straight to our financial expert. 11Alive viewer Jeffrey wants to know why his 2019 tax return has not been processed. Our financial expert Andrew Poulos, who confirmed the IRS is still processing some 2019 paper returns.
If you have paper filed, I can tell you that they are still backlogged, trying to get through all those tax returns. It's going to take some time, particularly because they're processing last year's returns in addition to have to dealing with this year's filing season.
Now, Andrew says the IRS is dealing with short staffing, remote work during the pandemic, and sending multiple rounds of stimulus checks. He says all this can slow down the process. He advises to keep checking irs.gov to see if your return is pending. Melissa, on over to you.
Thank you so much. And for your Wednesday afternoon, we've got a dry forecast in store for us. The clouds are decreasing a little bit, so we'll see more sunshine, and that sunshine is going to help to bump us up into the mid-70s. So we're in the mid-60s right now, about 66 in Atlanta. Next couple of hours, we're skyrocketing to about 75 for our high temperature with a partly cloudy sky, and then we'll keep those partly cloudy skies around all the way through this evening. So if you want to grill out, get a nice walk in, maybe you want to bring in some of that furniture that you have outside, the yard furniture ahead of tomorrow's storm risk. Pretty good weather to do so today. But I want to show you our next storm system. Clouds are decreasing right now. Storm system from today is moving out of here. This right here that's moving into the panhandle of Texas, this is going to be our next storm that impacts us late tomorrow. So our severe weather outlook, the risk areas, you'll notice the highest risk area is back to our west over parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and southwestern Tennessee. That's where there's a level 4 out of 5 risk of severe weather. But let's zoom into northern Georgia, and you'll see here our highest risk level is going to be the enhanced risk, which is level 3 out of 5 over northwest Georgia. Then the northwestern side of the metro is a slight risk, and then we have the level 1 out of 5 east of Atlanta. What does all this mean? Well, it basically means we're going to see several rounds of storms tomorrow afternoon and evening, and the greatest risk of severe weather is going to be up in the northwestern corner of the state. That's where we expect more storms to turn severe. But as those storms continue tracking eastward later tomorrow night, we'll likely see fewer of them turning strong to severe. Nonetheless, here's kind of a breakdown of what you need to know. Critical timing, when we'll see the most potential for strong to severe storms, is going to be in the evening through the early overnight tomorrow night. So I've got 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. our critical timing overall. If we have some storms tomorrow afternoon, a couple of those could also turn strong or even severe. Not every storm will be severe, but some of them certainly will tomorrow evening. And this week versus last week, remember last week we had our severe weather threat, but that wedge killed the chances of severe weather. This week is different. We will have the potential for some of these to turn strong or severe, and our overall threats, damaging wind is going to be our primary player, but I do think we could see some isolated brief tornadoes as well, especially in that enhanced risk area up in northwestern Georgia. So let's go through this hour by hour on the forecast track. Clouds decrease today. We'll start tomorrow morning with more clouds in place and some scattered showers. I don't expect severe weather first thing in the morning, but look at our forecast track in the afternoon. We'll start to track some storms, especially up in far northern Georgia. An isolated strong storm possible at that point. But here's our main threat of severe weather tomorrow evening. By 9 o'clock, that's tracking into our northwestern metro counties. Then we get into 10, 11, midnight, 1 a.m. Those storms gradually track further into the metro. As they're doing so, a few of them could become strong. Few of them will be severe as well, with the damaging winds and isolated tornado threat, in addition to heavy rain. So 1 a.m. they're on top of the metro. As we go further into the overnight, they'll likely be weakening as they track east of town, east of 85, and down into central Georgia. We're not done with storms after that. We'll get a little break Friday afternoon with sunshine. More storms on the way for the weekend. Fran?
Melissa, thank you. Some who had prolonged effects from COVID-19 say they're experiencing an unexpected benefit from their coronavirus vaccine. Symptom improvement, even relief. Mandy Gaither has more.
For COVID-19 long haulers plagued with prolonged symptoms like fatigue and brain fog, it's been a long road. But for some, the coronavirus vaccines are helping.
I could focus, I could see, my sinuses cleared up. It was wonderful. And also the fatigue lifted.
Rebecca Neff says she suffered from continuous COVID-19 symptoms until getting a first dose of the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine.
The next day, I woke up and my head was clear. I had not realized how foggy it was even on good days.
We were prepared for everything, except for this.
Diana Barrett is founder of the nonprofit Survivor Corps organization, a group of about 160,000 people that links COVID survivors with information. Barrett did an informal and unscientific poll of COVID-19 long haulers and their experience with the vaccine. Of the nearly 700 people who responded, she says 39% reported their symptoms improved after the vaccine.
Anywhere from, mild symptom improval to complete resolution of symptoms. That we can't say that about anything to date.
Barrett says not everyone had the same result. 46% of long haulers polled had no change in symptoms after the vaccine, and 15% said symptoms worsened. While more research is needed, some COVID long haulers have hope.
I still feel pretty good, and so in another 2 to 3 weeks, I will hopefully get the second one.
She is on the amend. Now, Georgia's vaccine expansion does not include children under the age of 16. Clinical trials are still underway to find a safe vaccine for children, but currently there isn't one available. But why? Here's our Why Guy.
The differences between children and adults go far beyond size. Our bodies go through a lot of changes as we grow in age. Our immune systems change.
Children and adults are physiologically different. The biology is different. Kids are not little adults.
Which goes a long way toward explaining why the vaccines protecting adults from COVID-19 are not being offered to young children under the age of 16. Adults face the highest risk of contracting and suffering severe cases of COVID-19, so clinical trials to test the safety and effectiveness of vaccines have focused on them.
Vaccine trials are both expensive, very large scale, and for children, of course, you need to be even extra careful. To get the trials done in the accelerated time frame that they were done, which was just remarkable, it didn't make sense to test children.
Dr. M.G. Finn of Georgia Tech School of Chemistry tells us clinical trials for children are different.
You need to do trials in a different way for kids than for adults. The numbers are different, the mechanics are different.
There are now separate COVID-19 vaccine trials underway, some involving infants as young as 6 months. Other trials are testing the effectiveness of vaccines on older children.
Good news there, Jerry. Also important to keep in mind, Pfizer is the only vaccine approved for 16 and 17-year-olds. That's important for any teenagers looking to grab an appointment starting tomorrow. And as always, do you have a question for our Why Guy, Mr. Jerry Carnes? Well, send it to him on Facebook, Twitter, or email, and he will check it out. Still ahead, vaccinations may be saving our local businesses. How one local yoga instructor is taking advantage and is taking your downward dog back into the studio.
Experts fear we're just at the start of another surge.
Residents here are some of the first seniors to get the vaccine.
This epidemic can come to an end.
We do have a flash flood warning that just popped up here.
The fallout of this is just beginning.
The bigger questions are the longer legal ramifications.
Morning news should be both informative and fun.
Gone are the days where we're speaking at you. On Morning Rush, we're speaking with you.
So connect with us. Talk to us.
Think of it as a conversation.
Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
Quick, open your phone camera right now, aim it at the screen to download 11Alive's new and improved app. This QR code will take you to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street-level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Morning news should be informative and fun.
Yeah, and we do that here on Morning Rush with Verify, Connect the Dots, Why Guy, and more.
We love learning about new things and sharing them with you.
We make the news make sense.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
The Negro people had to leave. They were told to get out.
White only, no black!
1912, all but one issue has been erased.
We haven't had none up here since the 1st of the century.
What's the importance of making sure?
Business owners are trying everything they possibly can to make customers feel comfortable, especially during this pandemic. Well, one business is taking that idea to the next level. 11Alive's Natisha Lance tells us how the owner of a local yoga studio is hoping to fill up classes yet again.
As Sacred Thread Yoga in East Atlanta Village tries to recover from its pandemic losses, it's reaching out to its community, hoping to pull them back to the mat. Starting next month, the studio will offer vaccinated yoga classes where admission will require proof of a full COVID vaccination.
This is a great way for us to address some of the hesitancy.
So far, 90% of the Sacred Thread community says they will get vaccinated. Open classes will still be offered to those who have not received a shot. The studio reopened in May, but lost 80% of its revenue and had to close its second location.
We are finally getting to a place of coming full circle where the idea of going into a room with other people and sharing space doesn't feel so scary.
The studio's decision hits on a debate brewing on a national level over vaccine passports, government-issued cards or smartphone badges that show someone is fully vaccinated. The idea is to bring some normalcy back to those who are fully vaccinated, but experts say a federal vaccine passport raises some ethical concerns.
Creating two classes of people, one with privilege, one without. And because of the way in which vaccination trends happen in our country, the one without tends to be poorer, tends to be more people of color.
Right now, the passports are still just an idea in the U.S., but airlines have at least asked the White House to look into them. Meanwhile, Wolpe says using vaccination cards could become a tool for some businesses like Sacred Thread to help protect public health.
Weather changes can make or break your day. That's why the 11Alive storm trackers are always watching what's coming next, delivering accessible and accurate forecasts that prepare you, not scare you. For storm trackers, only on 11Alive.
COVID-19 is still spreading in Georgia. Now get facts, not fear, at 11alive.com/COVID numbers. Track cases by county using our interactive map and get the latest health department data. Visit 11alive.com/COVID numbers.
Health experts fear we're just at the start of another surge.
Residents here are some of the first seniors to get the vaccine.
This epidemic can come to an end.
We do have a flash flood warning that just popped up here.
And the fallout of this is just beginning.
The bigger questions are the longer legal ramifications.
Morning news should be both informative and fun.
Gone are the days where we're speaking at you. On Morning Rush, we're speaking with you.
So connect with us. Talk to us.
Think of it as a conversation.
Morning Rush weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
Quick, open your phone camera right now, aim it at the screen to download 11Alive's new and improved app. This QR code will take you to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street-level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Morning news should be informative and fun.
Yeah, and we do that here on Morning Rush with Verify, Connect the Dots, Why Guy, and more.
We love learning about new things and sharing them with you.
We make the news make sense.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive.
The Negro people had to leave. They were told to get out.
White only, no black!
1912, all but one issue has been erased.
We haven't had none up here since the 1st of the century.
What's the importance of making sure this history isn't erased?
So that it doesn't happen again.
Is your morning routine feeling a little routine?
Then mix it up
Morning Rush is different.
It's the fast-paced news you need
with all the energy. Welcome back. We're getting new information about Google's big plans for Midtown. The tech giant says its new expansion on West Peachtree Street will be 19 stories and 500,000 square feet. Now, this massive plan could easily cost $50 million, and the company plans to create 10,000 new full-time gigs in Atlanta, New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. by 2025. We don't know yet just how many specifically are coming to ATL, but we will let you know. Thanks so much for watching 11Alive News at noon. I'm Francesca Amherst.
to work on that. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11Alive. Hey, quick, open up your phone camera right now. Aim it at the screen to download 11Alive's new and improved app. This QR code will take you right to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street-level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Atlanta roads are my thing. ITP, OTP, Ponce, Piedmont, all the peach trees. Combined with Chesley's street level forecast, that's a lot of tech and experience to help your commute.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11 Alive.
We're